Today is Thursday, January 2nd. We're talking about a terror attack that targeted New Year's partiers on a famous street for American nightlife, and an explosion at another hotspot, the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Also, from unseasonably warm to dangerously cold, millions of Americans are getting a big drop in temperatures. Plus, 2 new lawsuits in a feud between 2 famous movie co-stars, a change in a historic college football bowl schedule. And the new year brings a new generation. What to expect from Gen Beta. Those stories and even more news to know next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. We start today with a New Year's attack in New Orleans that's now being investigated as an act of terrorism. The FBI says a Texas Army veteran drove a pickup truck into a crowd celebrating on Bourbon Street in the famous French Quarter. At least 15 people died and dozens more were hurt before the driver was killed in a shootout with police. 2 officers were also shot. Now authorities are looking for any co-conspirators. Investigators found several explosive devices in the area. President Biden gave an address to the nation last night, saying the attack was inspired by ISIS. He pointed to videos the suspect posted on social media. An ISIS flag was also found inside the man's truck, along with weapons. If it's confirmed as an ISIS-inspired attack, it would be the deadliest of its kind on U.S. soil in years. Less than a mile from where the attack happened, Georgia was supposed to play Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl yesterday, but it got postponed for safety reasons. Now the game is set for this afternoon with extra security in place. Though officials are still expected to be questioned about security long-term. One concern that's already been brought up, when the attack happened, the regular security barriers were not in place. They had apparently been removed for repairs in preparation for next month's Super Bowl, and the attacker was able to drive around the backup security measures, including a patrol car that was set up to try to block off access instead. Louisiana's Governor Jeff Landry declared a state of emergency, already drafted ahead of the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras celebrations next month, so to be continued. A Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside of the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas yesterday, and the FBI says it's possible this was another act of terrorism. The Bureau has acknowledged the chance someone meant to send a message, since it happened outside a hotel bearing the name of President-elect Trump and inside a Tesla, noting how Tesla CEO Elon Musk is now a Trump advisor. For now, investigators just say they're still looking into it, but don't think there's any further threat. When the blast went off, the driver died, and at least 7 people were hurt nearby. Afterward, authorities found gas canisters, camp fuel canisters, and large firework mortars in the back of the truck. And they figured out the truck was rented in Colorado using the same car rental app used in the New Orleans attack. Law enforcement officers say they haven't ruled out a connection. Federal agents found what's believed to be the largest stockpile of homemade explosives the FBI has ever seized. A Virginia man was arrested on a firearms charge earlier this month. And during a raid on his farm, agents apparently found more than 150 pipe bombs and other homemade devices. So now he could end up facing more charges. It's not clear if he was planning anything, but prosecutors say the man used pictures of President Biden for target practice. And some of the pipe bombs were found in a backpack labeled with the hashtag No Lives Matter. Others were loaded into a wearable vest. Still, the man's lawyers say their client never planned to get violent and never threatened anyone, so they're demanding he be released from jail. That fight is now playing out in court. A massive New Year's Eve blackout left most of Puerto Ricans without power. The power failure affected everything from hospitals to sewage plants to private homes. But as of last night, almost all of the 1.5 million customers on the island had their electricity back, for now. The company that provides electricity for Puerto Rico says there may be more blackouts in the next few days while it attempts to fix the issue. Luma Energy says a bad underground power line may be to blame, though the investigation is not over just yet. As you know, Puerto Rico has had problems with its electric grid for years now. 2025 is off to a very cold start for millions of Americans. Meteorologists say there are several rounds of Arctic air coming for the eastern 2/3 of the U.S. At times, this could impact more than 250 million Americans living in more than 30 states. This started yesterday in the north-central U.S., and now more cold air is expected to spread south and east each day for the rest of this week and through the weekend. People as far southeast as Atlanta and all the way up to Boston can expect it to at least feel like the teens by Saturday. Then forecasts show next week will be even colder, like up to 30 degrees below normal for parts of the U.S. Wind chills could make it feel even colder than that. Plus, there's the threat of significant winter storms. Meanwhile, the West is expected to miss out on the cold this time around. More news is still coming up, but first, thanks to our sponsor, Hiya Health. Want an easy win for your family to start the new year that involves very little effort by you? Ensure your child or children are getting the full body nourishment they need with Hiya's best-selling children's vitamin for ages 2 and up. And because I know as a busy parent you do not want to have one more thing to keep track of this year, Hiya sends what you need straight to your door each month so you don't have to think twice about it. And Hiya has already done the research for you. Their children's vitamins are formulated with the help of nutritional experts and are pediatrician approved. I love that they don't have the sugar or yucky gummy junk that many other types of vitamins have. Yet my son loves the taste and is excited to take his vitamins and probiotic every morning. We've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. You can get 50% off your first order. Yes, half off. So to claim this deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/newsworthy. This deal is not available on their regular website. So go to hiyahealth.com/newsworthy and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. Okay, now back to the news. The first meteor shower of the new year is expected to peak tonight. It's called the quadrantid meteor shower, and NASA calls it one of the best every year. Quadrantids are known for bright fireball meteors with large explosions of light and color. NASA says this show could reveal as many as 120 meteors an hour, and it won't be overshadowed by moonlight either. The shower's peak is relatively short. It only lasts about 6 hours. Plus, much of the country will have to contend with frigid temperatures and overcast skies. Still, if you want to try to see them, the best time to view the natural show is late tonight into the pre-dawn hours of tomorrow morning. If you miss it, the next big meteor shower peaks in mid-April. Russian gas will no longer flow through Ukraine to the rest of Europe. A deal that let Russian natural gas pass through Ukraine expired yesterday, and Ukraine decided not to renew it. Though this doesn't come as a surprise. Ukraine has made it clear for a while it did not intend to renew the deal, since it's been fighting a Russian invasion for nearly 3 years. So European Union importers have been preparing with alternate routes and say there shouldn't be any supply issues, especially as Europe has a mild start to winter. Still, Ukrainian leaders say the move will hurt Russia financially by cutting off top markets. Russian gas company Gazprom will lose around $5 billion in sales. Economic experts say Ukraine also stands to lose $800 million a year in fees. An American service member is now accused in a huge hacking scheme. An indictment came out that says an Army soldier stationed in Texas knowingly sold confidential phone records online. The charges don't detail exactly what was hacked, but as Krebs on Security reports, the soldier appears to be connected to high-profile breaches. Apparently, investigators believe he's been posting as a well-known hacker who claims to have breached 15 telecom companies and sold stolen information. For example, call logs from President-elect Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, though it's still not clear if those records were genuine. So far, no official comment from the Justice Department or the soldier's lawyers. So remember we told you about alleged misconduct behind the scenes of the movie It Ends With Us? Actress Blake Lively accused her co-star and director Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment and accused his team of launching a smear campaign against her. Well, now she's officially filed a lawsuit against Baldoni and his publicists. It includes many of the same accusations from the civil rights complaint we told you about. But now she's seeking damages for, quote, mental pain and anguish and lost wages. Meanwhile, Baldoni says Lively's allegations are not true, and he's now filed a lawsuit against the first media outlet to report on Lively's claims, the New York Times. Baldoni accuses the newspaper's journalists of working with Lively to damage his reputation and of ignoring evidence that contradicted Lively's story. He wants $250 million in damages. The newspaper, though, stands by the original story, saying it was meticulously and responsibly reported. So both cases could end up going to trial. As is tradition, hundreds of thousands of Americans showed up for the 136th annual Rose Parade, and millions more watched on TV. This year, there were 32 floats, 20 marching bands, and 16 equestrian groups. There was a float inspired by the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, plus a Wicked-themed float complete with a yellow brick road, Emerald City, and of course, Elphaba and Glinda. But the top award went to the San Diego Zoo. The zoo's float depicted several animals, including the new pair of pandas that recently arrived in San Diego from China. Of course, the Rose Parade is just the pregame for the Rose Bowl, where there was a pretty big stunner this year. Number 8 seed Ohio State beat number 1 Oregon. It was actually Oregon's first loss of the season. but the Buckeyes dominated the whole game. The final score was 41-21. Earlier at the Peach Bowl, Texas beat Arizona State in double overtime. And at the Fiesta Bowl, Penn State beat Boise State. So next week, there will be just 4 teams left in the running for a national championship, split into 2 semifinal games. The Cotton Bowl pits Texas against Ohio State, and the Orange Bowl will be Penn State against whoever wins today's Sugar Bowl, either Georgia or Notre Dame. Finally, the championship game is set for January 20th. Well, that's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Thing to Know Thursday. But first, a quick break for our sponsor. Who wants to start the new year fresh? As in, smelling really fresh. Lumi's Whole Body Deodorant has you covered. Well, it doesn't just cover odor, like some other deodorants. Instead, Lumi is powered by mandelic acid to deliver impressive 72-hour odor control. Yep, it's even clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. It's really the best thing to have in your bag in 2025. I'm especially a fan of Lumi's stick deodorant for the morning, and the deodorant wipes are perfect for travel or anytime you're on the go. It's the perfect transition from the gym to work or from work to an evening happy hour. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers, too. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash that I love, and deodorant wipes, like I mentioned, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine that 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, well, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. So use code NEWSWORTHY for 15% off your first purchase at lumideodorant.com. That's code NEWSWORTHY at LUMIDEODORANT.com. Please support our show and let them know we sent you. Okay, now to Thing to Know Thursday. So this January 1st was not just the start of a new year, but a whole new generation. All babies born in 2025 will be a part of Generation Beta, which lasts through 2039. And that means no more Gen Alpha babies, since they were born from 2010 through 2024. Obviously, we don't know exactly what's in store for Gen Beta, but social researchers say technology will likely define their lives more than any generation before them. They also expect climate change to be a big part of their lives, partly because they'll be raised by more eco-conscious millennial and Gen Z parents. Plus, a lot more is expected to change in governance, media, business, and global geopolitics. It's also worth noting, Generation Beta could end up being one of the largest generations with more than 2 billion people. And many Gen Beta members will likely live into the 22nd century. Babies born this year will be 75 when the year 2100 comes around. So here's to Gen Beta. Welcome to Earth. All right, thank you so much for listening today and making us part of your daily routines. A big thank you to all of you for your support as we head into 2025. And a special shout out to the Newsworthy Insiders. We so appreciate you. If you aren't an insider yet, I would love for you to join us this new year. It gives you ad-free episodes on your favorite podcast app, and you can start with a free trial, so check it out at thenewsworthy.com/insider for more information. And Wondery Plus subscribers, you can listen to episodes of The Newsworthy ad-free in the Wondery app. We'll catch you up on more news to know tomorrow. Until then, have a great day, and once again, wishing you a happy and healthy new year.